Now, all right. Now we got it going on. Check. 1, 2. Check. Pretty sure I plugged in a new mic for this, so hopefully it's working. I'm just going to double check with the sound here. All right. The input. Check, check. 1, 2. Check. Check, check. I guess it's working. I don't know. You guys let me know how this mic situation is working out. If it is good, if it's not good, trying something else today. Man, this light is bright as usual. So I got to tame it down a little bit here. What button is it? That's not it. This seems like a good topic, but oh man, that blows. Well, come back when you can, because I'm sure we'll keep up this discussion for a while. Yeah, that's fine right there. All right. Cool stuff, man. I'm gonna miss this one. Damn, dude. All right, yo. But for real, how do I sound in the mic? Is the sound okay? Am I less than usual? Yo, what up along the journey? What's going on? Can you guys hear me fine? I plugged in a new mic to my computer to try to make the sound quality a little bit better for these things. Okay, cool. Great. Good stuff. I don't know what this button does, if that mutes things or what. I'm not going to push it though. All right. Oh, finally, y'all. Friday Q&A. Yeah. So, man, I've been just saying nothing for the first 2 minutes while nobody's here. Cool, guys. Well, yeah, the title of this, Faith and Belief versus Logic and Reason. Personally, I don't think they should be verses. I just thought it would be great to talk about the contrast between the two. I think the two can work hand in hand together. I don't really think that there needs to be a huge separation. And I think they can all work together. But a conception is that they are separate and that they need to be separated. I don't necessarily think that's the case, but I thought it would be a good topic to talk about, and it made for a good title. So that's that, and that's why I decided to bring up this discussion and talk about it. It makes a cool title. That it does. Eric, man, glad you're still here. I don't know when you're leaving, but you need to shoot me that link to your new song on SoundCloud. Got to hear it, man. So yeah, like I said, anyway, about faith, belief, logic, and reason, I think that they can all work together. I don't think there needs to be a separation between all of them. Yeah, I'm gonna have to bounce in a bit. Almost always busy on Friday evenings, most of the time after work on Fridays. So sorry I miss you sometimes. Love hearing your thoughts though. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Well, I'm doing this thing now where I might start doing less. I'm not going to do less. I'm just starting to take out small clips from these live sessions. So I love it when you guys are apart, but if you miss it, I'll take out the small clips so that you guys can see it. So that's a new thing that I'm doing. Yeah, man. But I'm glad you're here, and gonna suck when you leave. I'll have to leave too in a few minutes. I forgot about the stream. Damn, dude. It's all good. No worries. I'll be here for the next 2 hours. So if you guys feel like dropping in, taking part in the discussion, let's do it. So for the people who are listening right now, because apparently there are 6 of you, what do you all think? Faith, reason versus, faith, reason. Logic and reason versus faith and belief. Do you think the two can go hand in hand together, or do you think there's a clear separation between the two in the way people think, or do you think that there is a separation, but there needs to not be one? Because, obviously Christians and theists make the argument that God can be very much, you can prove God through logic and reason, which I personally don't agree with. So, and then there's, faith and belief. So, yeah, Let me know what you guys think about that, the difference between the two, or if they're all. Well, yeah, thought it'd be a good topic to converse about. I'll be back. I have to pick up food in like 15 minutes. All good, man. You got to eat. Cool with that? Well, I'm going to chill, wait for it to pick up a bit. How's y'all's Friday going so far? Well, from the three people that I've been talking to. Okay. If I look to people like Jordan Peterson and John Lennox, then it seems to be compatible. What exactly? Both logic, reason, and faith and belief? Are they all seem to be compatible? Hi, what's going on? Franta, Spausta? Like it. Cool. How's it going? How's your day been so far? Boom. What is Tech Tips? Boom Tech Tips. Cool. How's your day been so far? It's been okay. I did a whole bunch of work at the music studio today, finishing some work. Came back, tried to chill, but I ended up having to make dinner. And so, yeah, and now I'm here. So unfortunately, it's been a full day, but um, all okay. Long and boring, rain all day, so I didn't work today. So it's been a long and boring day. Well, that blows. Did someone say logic? Yep, someone said logic. Oh, man. A lot of people who say they believe actually just have faith, but they are afraid to admit that they don't believe as strong as they appear. Yeah, I 100% agree with that. I think there's a lot of Christians who say that they believe, but if they were to actually examine their beliefs, I don't know why I did that for examine, but if they actually examine beliefs, then they would see that they don't actually believe, but they actually have faith. And that's why I think there's a clear distinction between the two, especially, talking about salvation in Romans 10:9. It says that those who believe that Jesus raised again from the dead and that he died for their sins, they will be saved. And so what is belief? How do you know that you're saved? When you look at the context of in scriptures for what belief is and what faith is, because there is a clear distinction between the two. Faith being talked about in James and Hebrews, and belief being talked about a number of places in Paul's letters and in the Gospels. You see that there's a difference between the two. And so when you see that and then look at those verses, you realize, oh, wait a minute, like belief is a lot harder to get to and a lot more difficult to I don't believe that I don't believe I don't think that belief is a choice. I think belief is one of those things that is you either belief comes by the knowledge that comes from belief is the knowledge that comes from experience. And so I don't think a lot of Christians have experienced God in the way that says I've experienced this and I have no other choice to believe. Like if you believe something, there's no going back. Like I don't like the Christians that have told me like I don't think I believe in God anymore. And I'm like, what happened? And it was something bad in their life that happened, whatever, la da da. And I'm like, well, I would argue that you never believed in him in the first place, and that you just got together this cohesive idea of him that made sense to you. And then when that idea fell apart and it broke, then you like, I don't believe in God anymore. But if you actually believe in God, then you would be a hypocrite to turn away. If you actually believe in God, it would mean that you actually know him. You know that he exists. And so, yeah, I mean, I totally agree with that statement that I think there is a lot of people, a lot of Christians, theists, who say they believe in God, but really it's just their logic and reason that they've made this coherent, cohesive philosophy, if you will, of religion, and then that's what they worship. They don't actually, have a relationship with God, but they just have this cohesive idea that makes sense to them and say that they believe when that's not the case at all. When they actually are living by faith, but they just don't like saying that they don't believe that, because they're afraid to, or I don't know. But they just say that they're unwilling to say that they just have faith in God, but they don't actually believe yet, or unwilling to admit that they're on that journey. So anyway, totally agree with your statement and what you're saying. I'm right there with you. I think there can be a connection, but you got to have logic and reason first. I completely agree with that. But logic and reason in a different way. I think that logic and reason can be applied to things of faith, but you're completely going into the unknown. You're completely going into a place that it's like you have no idea where your life is going, what you believe. You're in complete darkness, and you actually have to rely on the left side of your brain, the logical and reasonable side, to say, how am I going to navigate this? And that's been my whole process and journey with this whole thing of like, what do I believe? Like, is God real? All this kind of stuff. Like, obviously my right brain wants to dream, and I want to be like, oh, I felt this thing, and so that must be God, or there was synchronicity, and all these little things lined up, so there must be a God. But like, my left brain is like, wait, hold on a minute. Like, let's actually look at these things and examine these things first, and then decide where to go from there. Because if God is real, then you are in this dark night of the soul, and you need to walk through it. And you're not gonna get anywhere. You're just gonna go back to that old way of thinking with just depending on your right brain, and just depending on these little ideas and all the feelings that you feel and all that kind of thing. So I do think that logic and reason can be applied to faith. And I think that if you are going through, like if you are trying to figure out if God exists, and you're going through something like the dark night of the soul, it's difficult to go through that if you don't honestly depend on, in some ways, logic and reason. That it's like, well, if God does exist, then the logical thing to do is to question, is to doubt, is to be skeptical, is to walk this path of, wait, let me closely look and examine all of these things first. And so I completely agree with your statement. That logic and reason can't, well, okay, so you're saying that logic and reason comes first. I don't necessarily think that, but I do think that logic and reason can be applied to faith when belief isn't there. Oh, look who is live. Nate, Pretty Little Lily. That's what's up. You know it. Yas, I finally was able to catch the live. That's what's up. Marion. Oh, I think, did you hit me up on Instagram one time and you were like, when's your live? Is it tonight? I'm really glad that you can make it. That's awesome. What is your opinion on Afterlife? P.S. I'm fairly new to your channel. Well, thank you for coming to my channel and taking part in all of these discussions. My opinion on the afterlife is, all right. So obviously, the traditional Christian view of the afterlife is it's either heaven or hell. The more I look into things and more I study into things of what people have experienced, like near death experiences, or even people that aren't or don't have any concept of traditional Christianity, it's not the case that it's not necessarily the case, really, that it's just heaven or hell. Like there could be a life after death that is not heaven and hell. And so my opinions on that are shifting and changing. I don't really know what I think about that. Or I guess I should, yeah, I guess it is my opinions. But as far, because I've been reading Robert Monroe's books on journeys out of the body, and so if the stuff that he's saying is true, if all of that is real, then there is a place that we go after we die. I mean, even looking at the first law of thermodynamics, that energy doesn't die; it just goes into a different, goes somewhere else. And so, if our memories, if our personality, if who we are, if all of that is energy, then it would make sense that we live on after we die. I don't know if that's the case. Yeah, I'm still gathering my thoughts on that. I'm not here much recent. I'm not here much recently lost. I lost someone. I haven't had a ton of time, but I just wanted to say I appreciate you, my dude. Thanks, man. I really, really appreciate that. Thanks for saying that. Pop Jack 01. That's what's up, man. Really appreciate that. I think it's important to keep the distinction between the words and make sure we mean what we say. We judge ourselves. I think it's important to keep the distinction between the words and make sure we mean what we say. We judge ourselves based on what we mean, but other people by what they say. Very true. Very, very true. Yeah, that's like, do you listen to Under Oath? I forget. I think you listen to Under Oath, but one of my favorite songs by Under Oath, the lyrics are, "I say what I don't mean and mean what I don't," and I love that line. Proverbs 3:5, logic is using understanding to come to a conclusion, right? Trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. So you're saying logic is using understanding to come to a conclusion, right? That's not necessarily what I'm saying. Um, no, I think understanding is something different than logic, reason, faith, and belief. I think you can understand all of those topics. You don't necessarily have to agree that they all go together. Just knowing what all of those topics are, just knowing what all of the concepts are, is understanding them. That doesn't mean that you have to rule out one or the other or whatever. First name, last name. Yo, what's going on, man? I think the source of the problem is people are afraid they'd be shamed if they admit to their peers where they're really at. They're afraid of being judged because they are always surrounded by the people they're afraid of getting judged by. 100%. Completely agree with that. Yep, that was me. Thanks for remembering. That is really nice. Yeah, no problem. No problem. I got a pretty good memory. Sometimes. Sometimes I can't well, I was gonna say I can't remember what I have for breakfast, but I literally have the same thing for breakfast every single day. So, I do remember what I have for breakfast, but, like, I can't, sometimes I forget, like, the smallest things, but I got a thing for people. So there's that. What we got going on here? I went into sudden cardiac arrest and my heart was not beating for 10 plus minutes. I don't recall anything, just like a nap, but I don't know how all the technical stuff works though. Oh, that's wild, man. So you didn't really experience anything in that? It was just kind of like just felt like you were taking a nap. Conversation of energy. Oh, conversion of energy. I'm an idiot. I can read, I promise. Kind of. I should write a book. I haven't heard that specific Under Oath song, but I like the quote. Yeah, man. Blackbirds, how's it going, man? Good to see you here. Howdy doodle do, Nate. Thanks, man. From your experience, have you learned to deal with people who constantly have double standards when it comes to various things because it serves to convenience them? Um, how have you learned to deal with people who constantly have double standards when it comes to various things because it serves to convenience them? Really, there's no other way to solve that than to just call them out on it. Like it's like, hey man, all right, like using logic and reason, how does this make any sense? Because you did this and you said this, but then you went and did this and said this, and it's like, just trying to help me out because it's almost like the way I deal with people like that is I'm like, hey, I'm trying to help you out here because you you're not making sense, and so like your life would be a whole lot better and make a lot more sense to you because typically the people that do that, their life doesn't even make sense to them. Typically, like they don't. You start talking about deep topics, deep subjects, and they just like no idea. And so, like, hey man, I'm trying to help you out. So to make more sense of your life, like, what did you actually mean by this? Like, because it appears to me that you're kind of being a hypocrite. And so I know that's not really you, and that's not really who you are. But help me out here because this is really how it's looking to me right now, and I don't think that's you. So what's going on here? And typically that does the trick, but it all depends on the person. So Everything may have a logic process. Not everyone knows that process. Can we actually know every logical process? It's like defining objects. Certain things haven't been named yet. I got a pretty good memory, Nate. Yeah, I mean, I do kind of. Um, um, everything may have a logical process. Not everyone knows that process. Can we actually know every logical process? It's like defining objects. Certain things haven't been named yet. Yeah, certain things haven't been named yet, but that's where I'm getting to, Luli. That's where I'm talking about. Faith. In this situation, faith versus logic. See, I would call like the things of the unknown that we still act on and act in. I would call that faith. um but and there could be a logical process, like let's take love for example. Like there could be a really logical process and a logical thing to love. But do we know that logical process? No, because it's really subjective to the situation and to the individual. And so love is something that we've all kind of witnessed, we all kind of have felt. But at the same time, like it's how does it work? Like, what even is it? That's why I made a whole series about it. And the ending conclusion was, I don't know what love is. Like, what is love? But we do know certain things about how it works. Um, but we don't actually know all of the logic behind it. So, yeah, I mean, I totally get what you're saying. Like, and I do think that everything can have a logical process. But at the same time, we eh, eh, we got to embrace the mystery. So there's that too. Hello, sexy. That's what's up. What up, Jess? Nah, just like the best sleep. Like I really restful. Nice. Well, that's good. Good to get. Glad to get good sleep when your heart stops. Hello. Let's yes. Let's do it. Yo, finally made the first live. That's what's up, man. Glad you're here. Brady Kelly. That's what's going on. Glad you're here, man. I like this better. Faith, reason, belief, logic. Faith, reason, belief, logic. Interesting. I'll have to think on that more. Every human thinks they have and know all the answers. Yawn. I don't think that. And so I guess I'm not every human because I don't think I know all the answers. That's the real. Speaking of your music name, I mean username. Hey, so I'm writing a speech on the book Mere Christianity. You have probably read it. Yes, I have. Any thoughts on it if you remember? I read it years ago, and I think I even read it twice. I really do enjoy C.S. Lewis and his theological works. Um, but I don't remember anything specific to Mere Christianity or miracles. I've read like 10 of his books. C.S. Lewis was like, I mean, I still really enjoy his books. But I was like obsessed with him at some point. So yeah, I have read the book, but I read it like 5 years ago, and so I don't really remember it. Sorry, but it was a good book. Maybe there's a logic in every subjective experience. Yes, yeah, that's a better way to put it. There is a logic in every subjective experience. Not the brightest question, and I'm sure you've answered it in some form. But have you read much info in the studies of quantum physics? I've read quite a bit on quantum physics, and if so, what's your take on it? Um, Most of the quantum physics I studied had to do with when I studied time and space and what is time. And so that got into some quantum physics. Um, a lot of people mention quantum physics because of the way when you go so far deep down into the atoms, into the quarks, into all that. I mean, eventually you get to string theory, and then it's just like everything is connected. And so, I, on that level, on a quantum level, yeah, I absolutely, I do think everything is scientifically connected. I mean, it's pretty much a fact that that's if everything were to go down to that level, then we would be connected to everything. And so out of that, I know that a lot of spiritual people get see we're all connected to everything, and see there's oh man, what is it called, quantum entanglement, that whole thing. And so I do think that there's a science to some of the spiritual things that people have happened. I do think that there is a science to it. Possibly. Um, and so I enjoy quantum physics. I really do. I really do. I don't know enough about, like, I can see how the average person would read about like stuff like quantum entanglement and look at it and say, "Oh, there's, the science for prayer. There's, the science for this and that." And, that's where my head went when I first looked at it as well. Um so I mean, the question is that just like an uneducated opinion, and uneducated people see that and they're like, wow, there's the science of the spiritual realm, or is would a quantum physicist think otherwise? And I've seen there's this documentary on Netflix called Heal, where I think he was a scientist, he might have been a doctor, where he said we do have science for prayer now. It's called quantum entanglement, and I was like, okay, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. So I really enjoy all that stuff, though. Here's why I switched them up. I feel like you need a reason to have faith, and once you reach the point of belief, it's only logical to believe. Know what I'm saying? Okay, here's why I switched them up. I feel like you need a reason to have faith, and to once you reach the point of belief, it's only logical to believe. Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. I would say most persons feel more intelligent than others when they know something others don't, but state they're just learning when others know more than they do. Wait, I would say persons feel more intelligent than others when they know something others don't, yes, but state they're just learning when others know more than they do. I'm pretty sure I agree with that. Trying to follow it in my head. I'm pretty sure I agree with that, though. Which Christian figure do you find most compelling in his arguments for Christianity? Honestly, I have yet to see. I'm assuming you mean Christian figure like an apologeticist. I think that's how you would say it, an apologeticist. Um, I really like to watch Ravi Zacharias, but then I also like to watch things that everything that he says it's debunked. So I do. Here's the thing. Like I released two videos last week that were segments of a past live session that said that talked about the moral and scientific argument and how they're both really circular arguments. And I find that most arguments for the existence of God philosophically are very circular. And so, and if God is real, then looking at the opposite arguments for people that debunk all that stuff, they're also circular. And so it's just, I don't think that's the best route of going about things. And then here's one thing that I haven't looked into yet, which is the life of Jesus, like the validity of it, because there's some atheists that's like, I don't even know if Jesus existed. And then Christians are like, he absolutely existed. It's in historical documents. So that's something I haven't looked too much into yet. But all of the arguments that I have seen for God, that are from apologeticists that don't talk about like the validity of Jesus or the cross or whatever, it's all circular. It's all circular arguments, and it's hard to, yeah. So, but Ravi Zacharias, I guess, is like my favorite apologeticist. We know far more about love isn't than what love is. By the way, long time no see. Hope all is well. Hey, what's going on? Aura Claire. Yeah, long time no see. That's for sure. You are the psychology major? Yes. and you told me a whole bunch of stuff on, I think, out of body experiences and stuff. And you're agnostic, I'm pretty sure. So glad to see you here. I think maybe the truth may be part of everyone's theories. Maybe they're all connected somehow. And as I'm reading these Robert Monroe books on out of body experiences, I see that 100%. There's so many places throughout his writings that it's like it was something that and it's in all three of his books. I'm on his third book right now, but like you can see some of the experiences that he has. It's like that when I was studying the Christian mystics, I was like, that's exactly what a Christian mystic experienced. That is exactly what he saw, and his interpretation of it was God. But the thing that I appreciate about Robert Monroe is he totally takes everything from a very objective standpoint, objective and scientific standpoint, to where he's like, okay, was this the case? I don't know. And he really goes back and forth on all these different stuff. But like getting back to your comment of, maybe the truth is in all these different theories. A lot of the things that Robert Monroe has said that he experienced when he was having these out of body experiences, he saw these things that I was like, that could be the Christian mystics. He heard these things where I was like, that could be Father God. And like, because they call, I don't, they're like, have you talked to the Father? Like the Father knows everything or whatever. And then like reincarnation. So I'm like, well, there's a whole bunch of other dogmatic beliefs that reincarnation is real. And even, people who don't believe in heaven and hell, but there's an afterlife, and that the energy of all this energy, like new age stuff. It's like all of that, like I can see all of that throughout his writings. And so there might be a point there. It's like it's it's all BS or none of it is. I mean, honestly, that's how I'm thinking about it. And so it's like I agree with you that I think that there are different truths laid out throughout different spiritualities and different religions. That it's like because because religion is so dogmatically set in the way that they think, they're unwilling to look at this spectrum of truth that's hidden in other religions. And so they just say, well, this is false because this doesn't cohere with my belief system. And it's like they're just using the coherence theory on how they arrive at truth, and they're not looking at like the correspondence theory, but what's actually real, what actually corresponds to reality. And so I do think that truth might be in everyone's theories. Do I know that for a fact? No. But as I'm looking more at different paths of spirituality and different religions, I'm seeing that may very well be the case. And we're all wrong because it's all something completely different than what we thought it would be. But if we were to look, like I'm talking about, at the wider, bigger spectrum of spirituality and religion, we would see, hey, maybe there's a hidden truth in all of it there. Like, what's the component in all of them that we're missing? And so I think there could be something there. I don't know. But I do think that exactly like you're saying, that truth might be a part of everyone's theories. Oh, thank you. Good luck. Yes, good luck on that book. Um, every human thinks they know and have all the answers. Nobody knows nothing until they die. Then you'll see if there's a heaven or hell. True. Like how you said, maybe my glasses are fogged up. That's cool. Um, I'm back for a bit. That's what's up. I can definitely see that clever name here. How do you go from Christian and knowing about heaven and hell to now when you don't believe hell or heaven is real? And I'm sorry, but you're not safe if you think hell is real. What? If I think hell is real? I'm not understanding what you're saying. Are you asking me how I went from like believing to not believing? And you're saying I'm not safe if I think hell is real? If I think hell is real, I'm not following. Uh, When you were living life as a Christian, would you say you had more hope? I can't remember if you had ever had depression, but what are your thoughts on depression within or without Christianity? That is a absolutely fantastic question. So when I was a Christian, I would say yes, I had more hope, but my question is, was it false hope? Even the Bible talks about hope deferred makes the heart grow sick. So in that situation, if I falsely believed, then it was a false hope. Falsely believe in my book, I didn't even believe. It was just faith and secondhand revelation that I really had. I didn't have any firsthand experience or revelation that God existed. And when I realized that, I was like, wow, I don't believe in God, and maybe none of this is real, and all that kind of stuff. So yes, I have struggled with depression and suicidal thoughts. Funny enough, all of that depression and suicidal thoughts happened when I was Christian. And then literally within, I don't know, like a couple months of realizing maybe God doesn't exist. Maybe, I don't think I believe in God, all that kind of stuff. A couple months afterward, and I talked about it in the video where I said how to overcome suicidal thoughts. That realization happened after I was like, maybe I don't think God exists. And so, I have struggled with panic and anxiety and some depression. But the suicidal thoughts, like the darkest of darkest times where I was thinking about taking my own life, that happened while I was a Christian. But you're saying, but how are thoughts on depression within or without Christianity? With Christianity, honestly, I'd pray a lot. I'd ask God, where are you? That kind of thing. Without Christianity, I've learned to walk on my own 2 feet, which I think a lot of people need to learn how to do. And I've learned to like, actually, this is happening to me because I feel like when I was a Christian and I was going through like those intense moments of fear, I would only face it. I would never accept it. I would never surrender to it. I would never, like let it take because there's, the only thing to fear is fear itself, right? And so if you don't let that fear hit you, then you'll never overcome it. And so when I was a Christian and I felt this depression, which all that stems from fear. And so when I was a Christian, I think I was unwilling to even face them. But when, maybe God isn't real, then it was like prayer wasn't an option. So I was like, I need to learn how to deal with my shit. I need to learn how to deal with this stuff. And so it was from there that honestly, the fear and the panic got a whole lot worse. And so well, I know that contradicts what I just said, but it got a whole lot worse because this is when I got chronic Lyme disease. This is when I was going through a whole bunch of stuff relationally, financially, a whole bunch of other stuff piled on it. So it wasn't just because I didn't believe in God anymore. I was at a very rough place. And so when it did get a whole lot worse, I didn't have that, hand to cling to because I never felt it anyway. And so I was like, I need to learn how to deal with my fear. I need to learn how to actually stand on my own 2 feet and deal with this rather than pawning it off to somebody who, when I was thinking about taking my own life, like obviously nobody showed up. Like I could have done it, but I didn't. And I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad that I'm here today. But it's just ironic that I started to really overcome depression, suicidal thoughts, anxiety, panic in the time that I've been living without God, I guess. And when I was with God, I guess, it was always prayer. It was always this. It was nothing like logical thinking. Like, what can I logically do? Like, how can I like mentally prepare myself for when this kind of thing happens? So I've learned a lot more after the fact of like, I don't think I believe in God than I did when I was Christian, because when I was a Christian, it was all just prayer. It was all prayer, this, prayer, that. It was just me praying, really. And so, if God is real, then obviously that's a huge question for me. Like, why, when I was, thinking of taking my life, and there was a couple situations where a whole bunch of stuff happened in that time of my life. Why didn't he show up? Why didn't he come? Why do I have chronic Lyme disease? I've obviously prayed, like, if you're real, take this away from me. Why? I don't know. I have no idea. But I can't be in a place to where, and I'm sure maybe if I was a Christian, maybe I'd be praying every single night, God, take this away from me. God, deliver me from this place. But like, I have had to learn to stand on my own 2 feet. And even if God is real, I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't think this is a bad thing that I'm learning to actually live life for me and how to overcome these things. I think if God is real, I think that might have been how he designed it all along. And he's meant for us to go on this dark night of the soul and this journey of faith to learn how to walk on our own 2 feet. And once we learn how to walk on our own 2 feet, then we can walk with him instead of just being these babes. And I talked about all that in a video I made on the dark night of the soul and faith and stuff. But and that's just if all that's real, hypothetically, kind of thing, to where it could be. But hopefully that answers your question. And so it's a really interesting topic to talk about. But yeah, the difference between the two of like with God after me not, being skeptical, doubtful, all that kind of stuff. It's night and day with the depression and anxiety thing. Yeah. Oh, I got a lot of comments to catch up on. So, yep, agnostic psychology major. That's what's up. When I die, my grave is going to say I know the truth. That's awesome. Can you tell us the truth after you learn it? I mean, that's why I'm here. If you want to read a very well researched book on the subject, scholar, The Life and Times of Jesus of Nazareth, I am going to screenshot that comment because I'm interested in that. Isn't real. A really, really excited book. Make sure you Google it. Yeah, no, I definitely will for sure. Um, yeah, I'm really late. I'm scrolling as he goes through them. Uh, it hit me from an early age. I think a song is the commenters maintain ongoing conversation with each other. We may be fine. Uh, he will get to everyone, but in the meantime, why not hear other responses? Yes. So if I missed your comment again. But agnostic. A lot of people point to a singular thing. I didn't have that hand to cling to because I never really had it in the first place. Yep, exactly. That's my life, man. Yeah. I feel silly because I don't know how to highlight a name. But yes, at a very early age, I was able to recognize that the ways of others didn't resonate with me. And ever since I sought out why. Yes. Here agreed on the family thing, by the way. Any overlooked aspect of showing your children proper love and attention is that its contribution factor lack personal responsibility. What do you think about team? What do you think about team trees and will you get involved? Team trees. I literally know nothing about hashtag team trees. Know nothing about it. Hi, I'm late. It's all right. I have no idea what your username says. Okay, well, no, that's not happening. If I remember right, you seen that DM I sent you about that book, so it may not be important. I'm rather or not you read my comment here when I mentioned it. What was the book? What was the comment? Like I try my best to really reply to everybody, but sometimes I miss it. So I apologize if I did. So could we have faith in love? I think so. Absolutely. Love is a mystery. What is it? I don't know. Who knows? Um, but we all feel it. We all, there's married people in the world, people are in relationships. Like love is a thing, obviously. So yeah, absolutely we can have faith in love. We don't fully understand it or know exactly how it works. Um, but I think it's absolutely we can have faith in love. It's a moment a bunch of YouTubers are helping to plant 20 million trees by 2020, started by Mr. Beast and Mark Robert. I haven't even heard of it, but that's pretty cool. The historicity of Jesus was the book I mentioned. Oh, okay. I may have looked it up, but I don't have the money for like anything right now, so I don't think I got it. You do a great job staying in order, way better than I would. Staying in order, like with comments, or staying in order, like just throughout this thread. I'm trying to think. Did I miss any of y'all's comments where you asked me something and I missed it? Um, if so, type it again. Um, I love not understanding it. Yeah, no, there's a huge mystery to it, and I think that I actually did a podcast today. Will be out soon. Um, that talked about embracing mystery. Um, Something crazy that happened to me, and just embracing that mystery. Anyway, um, what was the name of the video you made on the Dark Night of the Soul? That is really cool. Thanks for the answer. That is cool history. Yeah. I think the video is it's in if you go to my channel, it's in the physics, philosophy, and more. There's one on Romans 10:9, and then there's another video. I forget what the title is. Something about faith. It's right next to that video, though. Um, I want to read it. Yeah, I do too. Along the journey, I really do. So send it to me again because I think I don't really have the money for it, but I want to read it, so I'll probably buy it. So send it to me again. That'd really help. Wow. Yeah, like exactly what I was thinking. I think God does let you walk on your own to see what life is without Him. But in my experience, it has actually been the opposite. What do you mean by that? How has it been the opposite? It may be very detailed. It looks like 600 pages. I was shocked when I got it in the mail because I didn't realize it was so large. Dang. That's pretty crazy. What? I have had depression and suicidal thoughts, and now all my worth and value has been in Christ. Well, if you believe in Him, that's great. Good for you. That's good to hear you agree because I feel children are gifts of true love. To to us. I'm an idiot. Uh, and they are invaluable teachers if well listened. So nurturing them is essential uh, if we're to change for good. Yeah, I haven't been buying stuff recently as far as books because money had been very tight on my end as well. Yeah. Let's make a book club and read it. Literally, you're reading my mind here. I already got this stuff in the works. All right. I got a lot of stuff in the works that y'all don't even know about yet. uh, why not worth in you the creation that was able to overcome those hard times? Just DM'd it to you on IG. Dope. Thanks, man. You're far from an idiot. You're my favorite weirdo. Hell yeah. Means a lot, Jess. Thank you. How can money be tight? You have white privilege. Oh my God. Did you really just go there? Oh man. God, why is this thing so Oh, it's because of my freaking light in the background. That's why. Let me turn that down a bit. There we go. That helps, kind of. All right. I'd be down for a book club. Well, guys, get ready, man. Get ready. Uh, that would be cool. Do you have a Discord or something, Philosophical Misfit? Nope. This is all going to be Patreon oriented. It's in the works, y'all. Just get ready. Got a whole bunch of good stuff coming. I'd be down for a Misfit Bookworms. I'm gonna write that down. That might be the title of this thing that happens. Misfit book. What am I doing? I have a document open on my computer right here. I'm so excited right now. I can't even type. I can never type. It's more like man bun privilege. I don't know how to react to that. Get a comb over and get a job downtown. You'll do just fine. It's that easy for you guys. Wow. All right then. I finally went to the Joker movie the other day. It was great. That is what's up. It was a pretty great movie. Absolutely. And it's sad when they're neglected and abused for who they are supposed to be. Yeah. Oops. I'd say most kids swear because of other kids swearing close to their age group from what I've lived. I mean, you're not wrong. Guess me growing up in guess me growing up in the ghetto was white privilege according to you, and the Irish that are slaves in parts of the world are white privilege according to you. You know? Uh, there is no way I would still be here without God. Plus, if God is the creator, then he would probably be a lot smarter than us and would be able to help us. Help us or not help us and realize what we need or don't need. Yeah. I was thinking about that the other day. Actually, maybe it was even today. Like the thing of if God is father and if he is a parent, good parents don't give kids everything that they want. Good good parents don't spoil their kids. And it's funny that we want a God. If God is real, it's funny that a lot of people want a God that to spoil them. And really actually C.S. Lewis called it in the Problem of Pain, that book, which is a fantastic book. He said people don't want a father; they want a grandfather. Grandparents will always like give you ice cream and make you food and like, what do you want? Let's just watch movies. Let's hang out all day. I'll cook you food. A grandparent, right? It's like a lot of people want a God father, like a grandfather God, and they don't want a God that's a father that actually disciplines his kids. Now, what does that look like? I have no idea, but it's something that's a key lesson I learned in one of C.S. Lewis's books. Poverty is poverty. It kills any joy and hope, no matter your skin color. Very true. So says white privilege, unemployed, and generational poverty gal. Yep. I love that point. I had never thought about it that way. Some people are born lucky, some don't. I gotta head out for the night. Hope everyone has a good night. Hey, you too, man. Glad you could be a part of this. Come back. Come back at some point. Love chatting with you. Some social norms. What's going on here? Most of them made old, so the perception of lucky. Good point there. I've always felt that my needs have been given to me, but once hard work towards. So I know this is off topic, but I have mania. It causes me to, oh, okay. I mood swings. What's the night? I see a demon. I call it my night demon because I only see him at night, anyways. It's affecting my sleep. I've only had 7 hours of sleep this week so far, and no meds have helped me. And I was wondering if you knew any way that would be able to help because so far nothing has worked. Um, I mean, have you seen a sleep doctor or a psychiatrist? Um, because there's a lot of things that could play into that. I know my buddy, who he would hallucinate during the day. And he would say, I've seen angels and demons and all this sort of stuff. Now he doesn't know what he believes, and he's been deconstructing religion just like me. But he says, well, he doesn't say, he got diagnosed with a sleep disorder. Um, and he's always had trouble sleeping, but he's just never like equated, these hallucinations to that. And so you could very well have a sleep disorder. Um, that, or I mean, I know you've seen a doctor, but a sleep doctor or a psychiatrist is, I think, who you need to be seeing. Bro, autocorrect be messing with me. Just made me say there's merchandise from different races. What? Autocorrect, leave page alone. Autocorrect be messing with me. Hmm. Speaking of the conversation me and Clever Name here have been having, I had asked a question about what single thing you would say is most responsible for the state the current day US is in. What single thing you would say is the most responsible for the state the current day US is in? Oh man, entitlement and pride. Entitlement's a huge thing. Like where did the US get this huge sense of entitlement that you don't like and you don't even need it. Like you don't need to work for it. You don't got to do anything for it. You're just entitled to it. Like it's ridiculous. Entitlement, arrogance, pride. But I would say entitlement is the biggest thing. Like in our government, in the music scene, in everything. I mean, you just look at everything and you can just point to it. It's like, yeah, there's a problem there because somebody feels entitled that they deserve this without doing the work for it. And they deserve this without having an education for it or the know-how with it. And it's just like, get over yourself. So yeah, sounds like sleep paralysis. It's associated with uh, ido, idiopathic, idiopathic hypersomnia. This also accounts for the daytime hallucinations. Huh? You hear that, Kelly? What's your first name? Brady? Brady Kelly? Yeah. How do you feel about osmosis, Nate? All the different things we learned as children. I haven't looked too much into osmosis. Hold up. Osmosis. I haven't really looked into it at all, actually. Yeah, I haven't. I literally don't even know where to start with that. I haven't looked into osmosis like at all. Entitlement or pride? I would say. I mean, I think entitlement and pride go hand in hand. Uh, yeah, go hand in hand with each other. I would say it's more so entitlement. There's many points, factors that play into it. I agree. What up, Eric? What's going on, man? We should really pay attention to our sleep patterns. It's so important. Like what? Circadian rhythms are the real deal, guys. Yeah, no, that's real. Sleep is like so important. So important. And as much as people don't want to admit it, the moon has stuff to do with how you sleep. And which affects who we are, which is why it goes back to like astronomy and stuff. It's like there's some legitimacy to that kind of thing. I would say it's the way every day we care more and more about being correct, uh, getting best grades, most money, whatever efficiency, instead of using the heart in a smart way. You know, I agree with that. Definitely many factors, but I do have to say that if you break down most of those factors, such as pride or entitlement, you could find your way back to a broken and lacking in love childhood. Yeah, 100%. 100%. So maybe the real problem is parenting. Just a thought. I have long phase idiomatic. Oh, okay. It's a neurological disorder. You basically have no latent phase into REM. Interesting. So you can't. Do you dream, Ara? It's rather immediate. It also means very short, deep sleep stage of sleep, which means you are always going off 3 or 4 days of sleep deprivation. Ah, that's the worst. There's a great thing said by some smart ancient lawyer. He said, law can't function without a heart. He didn't want to follow the laws literally because of some exceptions, kids, elders. Yes, that reminds me of something. Okay, hold on. There's a great thing said by some smart ancient lawyer. He said, law can't function without a heart. 100% agree. He didn't want to follow all the laws literally because of some exceptions, kids, elders, etc. So I completely and 100% agree that the law can't function without a heart. The problem is that the law thinks that the law can control the heart when it can't. We think that we can make some sort of objective ruling that will rule over people subjectively, and that's just not the case at all. We can't do that. And this is why, for me, wanting to actually make an impact on the world and wanting to make an impact on society, this is why I have chosen to go the route of my career choices, which is like music and acting and content creating. I think art is what changes people. I think that art in today's culture and society is what is going to change the world. I don't think I'm not saying anything against government. I think government is necessary, even though our government right now is like super twisted, and it's not even really. I don't know. I have a lot of opinions on our government, even though I don't necessarily know a whole lot about the specifics. I still have my own opinions on it. But anyway, I think that the things that are going to change the world is not the law. I think that the thing that's going to change people is not the law, but it's art, and it's because art gets straight to the heart. That rhymed. Didn't mean it to. Didn't mean it to sound that cheesy and that corny, but it's true. So I was researching that the heart had more potential pathways and ability to transfer electrical signals to our brain than our brain to our heart, and yet we don't listen to our heart. That is so interesting. Please send me whatever you were reading with all that information on it. I'd love to know about that. So, question for you, Nate, and everyone else in the live chat. Where do you find your hope, worth, or value? Great question. I think my hope is found in the facts and reality of my situation, in knowing that I have the strength to get through. I think that if you develop a victim mindset, which having a victim mindset is a lot easier than having a victor mindset. And so it's a lot easier to be negative. It's a lot harder to be brave and courageous. And so when you've made the decision to not be a victim and to not be negative and to actually not be selfish and live life for yourself, then you have this victor mentality and not a victim mentality, but a victor mentality that it's like, you know what? I know that I can overcome. I know that I can overcome this fear, these situations, and I know that I can overcome this, and I know that I'm strong enough to do so. And so I think, worth and value, I don't need I don't need to get it from anybody. It helps to have that validation because everybody wants to be validated. But I think that living without a victim mindset, living from a victor mindset, and living with the bravery and courage to wake up every day to make that decision, I'm not going to be a negative person and I'm not going to be a selfish person. I'm not going to live life for myself, but I'm going to live life for myself, recognizing that I can be a gift to the people that are around me. I don't have to hog all this energy and just one me, that I'm actually what I carry as a gift to people, and that I have the strength to be that. And so I think that it's just a mindset of worth and value that you really have to find in yourself. Nobody can really give it to you. I mean, I realize that a lot of Christians, um, say, well, God gave me my worth and my value. But, and, if that's the case, then that's the case. In some ways, I think that kind of cheapens and it gives you license to not actually, you don't have to have value for yourself, because it's like, well, God gives me my value. But at the same time, the law that's set in place in the New Testament is love your neighbor as yourself. And so if you don't love yourself, then you can't love your neighbor. And so that gets into the whole thing of, people are constantly trying to love other people, but they don't love themselves and they wonder why they're burnt out all the time. It's like it doesn't work. So anyway, getting back to where I find hope, worth, and value, it's all in the way you think about yourself. You have to look at the facts on who you are, because a lot of people don't want to be who they are. But it's funny because it's like a lot of people hate who they are because they don't learn to love who they are. But once they love who they actually are, then they really start to love who they are. I know that sounded really weird and confusing. Let me try to break that down a little bit more. So, a lot of people don't like themselves because they are not being themselves. They're so busy trying to be other people. But if they were to fully embrace themselves and develop love for themselves, then they would be able to love other people, to love themselves. So, anyway, getting back to where do you find hope, worth, value? I think you finding it in yourself, you knowing yourself and realizing who you really are and learning to love that. I think that you gain hope in that. You're like, like, not in a prideful, arrogant way, but being like, I'm a boss. Like, I got this. Like, life, come at me. Like, I'm gonna live life to the fullest. I think there's so much hope right there, that people are some people are missing out on, some Christians specifically are missing out on, because it's like this, well, God will take care of it for me. And it's like, I'm just a vessel. And it's like, okay, you might be a vessel, but like, do you have worth for that vessel, or are you going to treat that vessel like garbage? So a lot of other so all of that to say, I hope that answers your question on where I find hope, worth, and value. This will be sure to stir some things. Okay, let me. Cool. This will be sure to stir. My God, I can read. I promise. This, this'll, this'll, this'll be sure. All right. I don't know if you're where you're from, but that's how that looks. This will be sure to stir some things up. So feel free to not answer it if it's too touchy. But what's your take on the debate of whether or not it should be okay for white people to say the two N words? There's two of them? No, for real. I didn't know that. Um, I don't think those words should be said by anybody. Just just point blank. Black people shouldn't say them. White people shouldn't say them. What they insinuate and what they mean, I don't think anybody should be saying them. I don't understand why that's even a topic of debate. Like, yeah, that's the way I think. Ugh, gross. Yes, I dream. I can close my eyes, and if I'm in the middle of sleep episode, I start dreaming right away. Even as a kid, I would see all kinds of wild things. Nice, fully awake. Oh wow! If I turned the light on, they would disappear. Words are only powerful if we give them power. Very true. I somehow knew it was my mind doing it, so I never got scared. Thought it was cool. Well, that's pretty cool. I fell down an internet wormhole, Nate. That's awesome. I could never find that tidbit. Hell, I could pull it out of you know what, for all I know. But it's got something. Hey, if you can, then I'd love to read up on it. That'd be awesome. Just wondering what? Just wondering what? Oh, um, sup, brother? JK Boss, what's going on, man? I would say now a god and in my mindset too. I needed to hear that right now. Yep, and as George Carlton said, it's the context that counts. Dude, you're blowing my mind right now. Thank you so much. I'm glad I could do that, man. A lot of the vividness during wake times isn't there like it was when I was younger. Now I just see shadows zipping past, hear faint heavenly sounding music. Well, that's pretty cool. So do you believe that Aura, do you believe that those things like those heavenly sounding music and those things that you experience are just a product of what your mind is creating, or do you think that you're actually might be attaching into a different reality, a different dimension on a quantum level? Because I know of some lucid dreamers, specifically the guy I get emails from all the time. Really great stuff. Talking about lucid dreaming, world of lucid dreaming. I got an email a while ago talking about quantum consciousness, and just saying that there's studies of what we experience in our dreams is actually a different state, different reality, different world. I don't know how I feel about that. You would have more of a know about that than I would. So that's my question to you. Set a setting as above and below. People often disregard that there is a set and setting within their minds as well as outside of their perception. Yes. What? That there is a set and setting within their minds as well as, yeah. Choirs that are being made behind me and being jolted awake by the sound of someone knocking at my door really loud. That's crazy. Like, how would you have hope in someone if you don't see in yourself the potential of doing something, for instance, love? Totally agree, Lily. As far as love your neighbor as yourself, I think that verse is assuming that you already love yourself. It might be assuming that, but a lot of people don't assume that. You brought up some amazing points there, dude. Well, thank you. I agree. I think part of that goes back to learning to walk on your own in effect, because then you learn to not worry about what others think of you. Very true. I'm from Ohio, but I learned how to speak in a large part of from a large part of my grandfather, who was born and raised in nice Appalachian, Kentucky. That's what's up. Appalachian, depends on where you live. I used to say Appalachian, but then my hick friends call it Appalachian, so there's that too. Um, Dang, where the okay, Appalachian. It's assuming you love yourself, but it's hoping you'll consider being willing to see that within your neighbor are all some potential characteristics that are within you. You can't love yourself until you are yourself and you're not yourself. Yeah, 100% token. That's a great quote. But then when I came back to God, I realized that was what mattered. And I couldn't be successful with God's strength because I no longer cared about what others thought. Want to know why you think I know what's up now? I've lived my whole life in the Appalachian Mountains in East Tennessee. That's what's up. That is what's up. The Appalachian Trail, man. I live where the Appalachian Trail is too. I know he meant something with meaning, but I can't exactly get it out. Sloshy well. What? Is there something that you think should be made legal or illegal that you know a lot of people are split on? Speaking for myself, I think more states should abolish their anti switchblade laws. Yeah, I don't get that stuff. There's a whole bunch of really dumb laws. Like a whole bunch of like in certain states you can't do certain positions, and in certain states you can have switchblades, and other states you can't. I'm just like, what is our government doing? Why? I don't know. I'm not honestly when it comes to like the things of the government because I don't hear me out on this government thing. I don't think government is bad. I think government is good. But I think that the way our government, because our government in America was meant to be a democratic republic. But what do we have? We have a split nation. We have Democrats and we have Republicans. And we were meant to be a democratic republic. And so we're not that. And so I appreciate government. I think we do need government. But government that should support the people and not government that should rule over the people. And right now we have a government that's attempting to rule over the people. And I'm just like, I don't want any part of this. This is crazy. Gotta go be productive. Oh man, Marianne, come on now. Thanks for the chat. You gave me a lot to think about. Well, cool. Hope to see you back here in the next Friday. That'd be dope. I agree with narcotics, decriminalizing narcotics. What narcotics specifically? In Tennessee, it's still legal to beat your wife. That is ridiculous, but only on Sundays and on the courthouse steps and with a stick no bigger than your thumb. You got to be kidding me. Is that a thing? I don't like it, but the prohibition taught us a lot. Wow. Peace out, Marianne. See you next time. Time to eat dinner. Thank you all for the info. Really appreciate it. Might be back later. All right, man. I'll be here for probably another 45 minutes ish. I agree. I just cannot get behind any human thinking they should be able to dictate what I can do with my body, i.e., what drugs I can or can't take, experience. Being agnostic, I'm inclined to say I don't truly know. The brain is remarkable and can manufacture very realistic experiences. 100%. Most have to use most have to use consciousness altering substances that generate them. Um, then there are those like me who have brains that can do it without, like connected to DMT release, which is something our brain releases in order to generate dreams. Yes. Are you learning generate dreams? Yeah. So you're just saying that you produce more DMT than the normal average human being. Is that what I'm hearing you say? Or if that's the case, I mean, that's pretty cool. Sucks that you constantly feel drained of 3 or 4 nights of sleep, but um, it's interesting. Have you been able to like control the experiences that you have or the hallucinations? Are you learning more to the are you leaning okay. Are you leaning more to the theist side or atheist side? I know you're unsure, but which one are you leaning to more? I think you're okay. That's not the point of what I'm doing. Okay. What I'm doing with this journey that I'm on of skepticism, like I see that on the theist side, I see some principles and some truths that can be applied to humanity. And on the atheist side, I see the same thing. What am I trying to find is truth, period, is truth. What's real, what's true, and how can it be applied in every single day life? What's truth? And so, there's a lot of, I made a video about this past week. There's a lot of things, ways of thinking that atheists how they think and how they live their life. There's truth to all of it, and there's truth to some of the principles that more religious and spiritual people live by. So I'm like, I see these truths. Obviously, then there's that ultimate truth, and there's the ultimate question: does God exist? Does He not exist? I'm still in a place where I'm like, I don't know. Now, I am not at all in the place of saying I do not 100% believe that there is a God because I've done all the research in the world and I know everything and I know for sure that God doesn't exist. That's not the case. And I haven't experienced anything to where have come into a belief, more or less so, that God is real and that He exists. Obviously, if that were to happen, then I were to say, yes, God is real. And I guess technically I would be a theist. Would I claim to be Christian? No, I'm not even there yet. I mean, it's like first you got to find out if there's a supernatural realm. And if there's a supernatural realm, what's in that realm? Is it us? Is there a God? If there is a God, does that God mean that it's the God of the Bible? Or, there could be different gods. What does it mean? And what is true? Is angels and demons real? Is, of the whole mythology story, is it mythology of the Bible or of the Greeks or whatever? I mean, there's so many things, there's so many unknowns. And I'm not afraid to sit in that. I'm not afraid to be at a place where to say, I don't know. And I'm really not trying at all to lean a certain way of like, I want to be more theist or I want to be atheist. It's not that I want to be either. I just want to know truth and I want to live by that truth. And so that's really what this channel is about. That's what I'm doing. That's why I have these conversations. That's why I talk, because I think that on the spectrum of theist, agnostic, atheist, whatever, on this spectrum of belief, religion, spirituality, non-belief, there's truth throughout all of it. And I'm trying to find out what that truth is, because I do think it could amount to something. It could amount that it could amount to something that we are more than we think we are. It could amount to God. It could amount to, cherishing the moments we have here on earth, because when we die, that's it. And we only have one life. So let's live it to the fullest. And I don't think that's a bad way to live life. And that's how a lot of atheists live their life. And I think that Christians and spiritual people could benefit a lot more from living that way. And so all that, I'm not leaning any certain way, and I'm not trying to at all. If I come into a belief or I have an experience that leads me to the knowledge of belief, that gift of belief, really, then yeah, I would believe in God. But I don't think I think it might even be possible to develop like the way an atheist, like how an atheist would arrive at truth. Like, does it correspond to reality? All that sort of thing. I think like more of a correspondence theory of truth. Typically, now there's a lot of other ways to go about truth, but typically an atheist would use the correspondence theory of, does this fact correspond with reality? Now, I think that should be used in the mindsets of, cherishing this life to the fullest and everything. We got one life, all of that. I think that way of living life is amazing, but if you believe in God, does that mean that to not live life like that? No, I don't think that at all. And so I'm just literally, I'm like seeing all these truths on this spectrum, and I'm like, hold on, like it's so all over the place because people want to be like, there is only this way to think about things. And we've packaged it in this nice little package of religion or non religion. And this is how it looks. But it's like, no, we got to get rid of all of that. We got to completely get rid of all of that and look at, okay, all of these little like neat nice boxes need to be opened up because there's a lot of just BS in all of it and there's a lot of truth in all of it. And so that's really, I'm not, like I said, I'm not trying to lean any certain way, but I'm just looking for truth, and there's a lot of truth laid out all over the place. So that's where I'm leaning, not leaning, but that's where I'm at. It's illegal to sell hollow logs in Tennessee. Nice. I was gonna post some. I was gonna post some off-topic stuff, and everyone gets back to the topic. Yeah. Basically, he was saying that so many people can't love themselves because they don't even know themselves yet. Yes, that's a much better way of putting it. But yeah. Oh Lord, I feel like Joe. Have you tried DMT? Rogan has joined the chat. Yeah, for real. That is his middle name, basically. You tried DMT? Nate, you don't want to know how South America is doing right now politically. It's crazy. Actually, I do want to know. I'm interested to know. Tell me. Honestly, though, I'd be interested to know. Speaking of chimps, have you tried elk meat or with DMT? No. Oh, Jamie, pull that. Oh, okay, that's hilarious. Yeah, that's Joe. That's Joe Rogan. Oh boy, I'm so late. I was watching the live chat 5 minutes behind. I'm sorry. It's all good. All good, Luli. Glad you're caught up. Yeah. Oh, in the realm of possibility. And you know they believe in the pineal gland is where DMT is stored. Yep. About the prohibition of shit like greaser, ERA, weapons, I always argue why you'd ban something for any uh, reasonable person when irresponsible will continue to use them always because they don't care about laws. That answered my question. Thanks, bro. No problem, man. It's entirely possible. Nate, going hard on Rogan thing. Yeah, I know. It's hilarious. If you remember me telling you about my near death experience, about that experience being more real than reality, it's because even I think I remember you telling me this. Yeah. Man, I got a long way to go. Dang. Compared to my hallucinations in my waking world, my near death experience was far beyond that. HD on steroids. Uh, it's that really reality more real. Yeah. And I have felt that before. I don't know what to make of it, but I've felt that before. I would think a near death experience would be more real because of all those chemicals we produce in that moment. The real that I'm absolutely fascinated with, as for the DMT question, most people with release large amounts of GABA, GABBA. Okay. But why would you not assume that this is the original and that there will be a simulation somebody, but not yet? Nate, Tell us about the new song you said you'd be recording. I was messing with it a little bit more today. I'm so crazy busy with a lot of things that I haven't been able to focus on my music. So it's kind of on hold, which is I hate, but that's the way it is. But it's called Running. Uh, running, 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 but running. So uh, yeah, I'm trying to get it out by the end of the year. The man, uh, in other words, it is that is responsible for slowing down. Another intelligent woman joined. Yeah, for real. Ara, glad you're here. I'll be here every Friday night. I love hearing from you. Got great things to say. Riots have been broken out in Chile, right across the country. A state of emergency situation. That's crazy. That's crazy. And there was a big dictatorship in 1973, and it felt really close to that. Wow. Dude, I thought of a great song the other day after we talked about self worth being something everyone has to discover on their own. What is it? And how Argentina and Uruguay and others have elections. Oh, it's crazy. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. Have riots broken out near you, Luli? Gave you the right to commit one likely illegal act, nothing outside statistic. What crazy thing would you do? Wait, what? If Mac Daddy Uncle Sam gave you the right to commit one likely. Mac Daddy Uncle Sam? Are you talking about God? Or are you talking about Uncle Sam? Gave you the right to commit one likely illegal act, nothing outrightly sadistic. What crazy thing would you do? Off the top of my head, I'd customize a freight train and drive it on the highway across the US. Well, that's something to do. Oh man, what would I do? I don't know. That sounds fun. I can tell you've thought about this, and I have not thought about it. So I would need. I'm gonna give that a little bit more thought because I don't know. What are your plans after the stream? There's a whole bunch of people downstairs right now. My parents are having like a small group kind of thing with a bunch of people my age, and I'm up here on live stream, so I'll probably go down and say hi to them. And then I might watch a movie. Actually, I've been binge watching for the second time New Girl and laughing my ass off. And so I'll probably just watch a ton of that too. It's a lonely world here in Alabama. No one seems to think. Kills me. Ara, well, we are here for you. The Misfit family welcomes you. Seriously, though. Just come here on Friday nights. We'll chill. We'll chill. We'll talk. I think it should. I think he should go streaking after the stream. Kid, streaking after the stream. Oh, I do that. I do that every single day, literally. Okay, not literally, but what I really the only time I wear clothes is when I'm doing YouTube stuff. I'm not kidding. Honestly, all my desires are inside the legal bubble. I would go get my daughter from her abusive and oppressive father. He filed a bogus order against me that I'm fighting, so kidnapping for sure. Huh. Yeah, that really sucks. I did not know that was happening. That's a bummer. Sorry to hear that, Jess. You can't begin to fathom the pain. Oh, I bet. My country is in the most Hippie free weed freedom of thinking country, and everyone loves my country right now. LOL. No strikes close because I'm not in Chile. Well, that's good. I know Americans say Chile, but isn't it Chile or Chile? Isn't that how you pronounce it? Deal. OMG, me too. I never wear clothes. Yeah, it's not a problem with me. I think it's actually I might make that a law. That let me do that. Just like declare like there's a day where nobody's allowed to wear clothes. I think it would remove a lot of stigma and it'd just be good for people. You could see the people that are truly free, and then everybody else would stay home. It'd be great. Yo, I'm back. Had to go for a bit. Well, I'm glad you're back. First name, last name. It's good stuff. It'd be funny to just chug a chug down the freeway blasting rock music and see others. Yo, that'd be hilarious. And I would definitely want to be along for that ride. So we are so out of topic. Yeah, that's usually what happens. We stay on topic for around the first 45 minutes of the stream, and then we just kind of go everywhere, which I'm fine with. I'm not mad about it. But I do think there is more that can be said about faith and reason, faith and belief and logic and reason. Yeah. So what do you got? I mean, I don't mind. We can stay on this kind of free for all AMA kind of thing, or we can go back on topic. Faith and reason. Wow, God, faith and belief and logic and God, faith and belief, logic and reason. That is what I'm trying to say. We could talk about that again. Doesn't matter to me. I am up for it. Check your privilege. Hey man, how's it going? Backwards Panda, what's going on, man? It's going good. Um, just enjoying doing the live stream Friday nights. Good stuff. Check your it's literally indescribable, the pain. I can honestly say, and luckily I have an insane willpower that without drugs, I'm not sure I could have survived the last year. Opiates numb the pain. I'm clean now. Well, that's good. I'm glad, really glad to hear that you're clean. Clothes are confining and overrated. I go barefoot even in the winter. I'm that kind of hippie. That's what's up. That is what's up. I like it. Okay, so your water bottle video? I don't remember that. Water bottle video? No idea. Really, man? Again? What? Again, what? Oh, that. Oh my God. Okay. What did you guys all say about the topic so far? Said a lot about the top. Well, basically, do you think that logic and reason and faith and belief are separate? Do you believe that they can all cohere together? I talked a little bit about my opinion on it, but I do hear a lot of people saying that um, well, just throughout this whole YouTube experience and journey, that logic and reason can't be applied to faith and belief. I don't necessarily agree with that, but that's why I said the whole versus thing, because a lot of some people think that they're different. Some people think that they can't cohere together. So yeah, that's what we're on. We can let's talk about it though. What do you guys think about it? That's why I said once you reach belief, it's only logical to believe. Absolutely. Because if you've come into that belief, then you would be a hypocrite and a coward to turn away from it. So then that technically makes the titles of these live chats a bit misleading. Scam. What do you mean? Who am I kidding? I'm probably the biggest offender of going off time. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, no, they're not necessarily misleading because the first 45 minutes of it is really on topic. And then we just kind of stray off and go wherever. Shoot, I missed the start. How late am I? You are an hour and 40 minutes late. Where is everyone from though? I'm curious. All over the world. It's good stuff. I'm like a gypsy hipsy who's a little hood. Nate, I only take cream tum and of course the occasional dose of meth. That's a joke. I'm glad that's a joke. Also, hello everyone. Well, hello, Softy. Softy. All right, cool. Oh, John just woke up. That's what's going on, man. Well, glad you're here for the next 20-ish minutes is what we got left on this live stream. Nate, the video where you said you were going to use a water bottle to explain the difference between faith and belief. Yes. Yes. That the analogy with the water bottle. 100%. Ohio. I'm so sorry. All good, man. Tennessee. I agree. I'd rather not check anything and accept. I'd rather not check anything and accept everything. Why check privileges? That's old. Vibe checks are today. Yeah. Have you guys heard Kanye's album, Jesus is King? No. Have not. Howdy. Axe and Knife Survival. Well, all right, Mountain Man. Your ancestors shed blood across the whole planet and terrorized everyone. What? Well, I guess I am. I did, but um okay. Well, I'm glad you said JK cuz yeah. But glad you're here. Glad you're here. Head out to a music concert. Who you going to see? That's what's up. Well, have a lot of fun, Luli. I'm sure you will. See you later, Luli. Glad you can make it. You are amazing as well. No jokes. I kid you not. My best friend. That's what's up. Luli. See you later. Have fun. Oh my god. Okay. Don't do DMT. Everybody got all wholesome. Wholesome. I was talking about passing a law to streak. Sorry we're boring today. It's totally fine. Totally fine. I just go with the flow with these live streams. I like it. I agree, Paige. How did everyone's day go? Fine. Not too bad. What's your favorite song from the Search album by NF? Ooh, that's a good question. I actually really like The Search, that song. Um, let's see, I got The Search album. Um, Time Good. Oh my God, Valor. I really like Why. I really like Why and The Search. Those are my probably my two favorites. Let's talk about sex, beep beep. I'm always down for that conversation. Just putting that out there. I'm not even kidding. Uh, oh Lord, not again. I've listened to like two songs by Kanye. Sorry. Uh, this channel is my favorite live stream because it's like a hangout session. That's what's up. I mean, it is a hangout session, but also, I mean, its focus is that's what this is becoming. It's like there is a focus for the first like hour, and then it just becomes a hangout session where I'm not mad about it at all. Um, but there will be more live sessions to come, and those will be a lot more specific. So that'll be fun. Random thought I had today. If our brain chemistry controls how we feel, like slow serotonin could be related to depression and give us negative thoughts, to what extent are we actually in control? Are you trying to say we don't have free will? Is that a thought saying we don't have free will? If our brain chemistry controls how we feel, like serotonin could, well, no. Okay. Yeah, look up neuroplasticity. And it's your choice to be negative. Your brain is a lot more, you have a lot more control than you think. Neuroplasticity is a proven factor, it's a thing. We have a lot more control over our body than we know. Some people believe everything is already predetermined by past atom positions. I disagree with all those arguments. I gotta go. And yes, I'm assuming your gender. All good. You can assume whatever you want. It's fine. Don't bother me. By the way, I wanted to apologize to anyone who felt the guy last week I was being serious about his struggle. I would never intend to shut someone out. Shells isn't here, but I wanted her to know that. Well, she'll be back. Don't worry about it. She'll be back. It'll be fine. You just start a podcast. I am starting a podcast, and I have already recorded 4 episodes. More to come, and I haven't released them yet. I'm going to release them, but I'm just trying. I'm building stuff up. But I do have a podcast, the Philosophical Misfit podcast. It'll be out. Well, yeah, I'm not filming the podcast, but it'll be something that you can listen to on streaming platforms. So yeah, it's going to be really good. I'm excited about it. Wait, what? What do you mean, what? The they he dreamed. Oh my god. All right. Yo, that's a huge bottle of water, by the way. Yeah. Drink one of these a day. So there's that. Philosophical, do you believe in free will, misfit? Yes, I believe in free will. I don't get that joke. Interesting. I need to look into neuroplasticity. It just made me think about it because recently a megachurch pastor took his life and had severe depression. I mean, that's very unfortunate. Like that's really unfortunate. It's not okay that that happened at all. And thoughts go out to his family. Um, but it was his choice. Obviously that guy was in a super dark place and he chose not to reach out for help, which is really, really unfortunate. But ultimately, it was his choice, which is a very, very negative, really unfortunate choice for all of his loved ones. But the reality of the situation is it was his choice. His body didn't make him do it. That's just my thought on that. It was a play on Joe. Have you tried this? Joe, have you? Yeah, I like it. I like it. I'm still not exactly sure what free will means. I mean, I'm probably just stupid. Nah, you're fine. Free will just means that you have the ability to make a decision. You have the ability to make a choice in your life. No one's making it for you. That's simply, in essence, what it means. Joe, what's going on? What is this? It's a talk on philosophy and spirituality, religion, but also a hangout session. So we stay on topic for about the first hour, 45 minutes, and then it's just a free for all, and we talk about a number of things. It's AMA, so that's where we're at, and I'm only going to be on for like 8 more minutes, so there's that too. My thoughts on belief and faith. As of this moment in time of my personal growth, I see belief in something as most often hate the matrix we live in. Hopefully, I can escape one day. That would be nice. And it would be nice to see that this is a matrix. It'd be cool. I love people. Well, you're in the right place, man. Love yourself. Please love. There you go. People always say, well, if God is real, then why did he make people like Hitler? Think about if he didn't, we would be so overpopulated. Hitler chose to be Hitler. Okay. Believe in something as most often benevolent in nature, but faith is always a malignancy. Man, that word is too big for. I am not smart enough for that word. It takes root. It will metastasize. It doesn't matter if it's faith in God, faith in an idea, faith in a person, or even notion. It just been my observation that more often than not, religious folks, especially monarchs of faith, see belief and faith as the same thing, but I see them as different. Beliefs, it requires evidence to declare it. Faith is to accept something as true without evidence, and more often than not, to have faith in something is as true in spite of evidence. Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with what you're saying. I don't think I like it. I'm saying I like your views. I'm pretty sure I'm on board with that. Why not attribute your revelations to the beauty of this matrix? God reveals himself through your faith and in some insane ways. Possibly. All right, guys, I'm going to give it like 5 more minutes. Then I'm going to call it. About the Hitler thing, I don't think God would choose to make him. Free will and control over our bodies and destiny is real. Absolutely. It's murder to the mind, blood on the hands, fire in my soul, and fires in the eyes. Okay. I don't know who that is. How can we find what we're all looking for? Goosebumps. It's murder to the mind, blood on my hands, fire in my soul, and fire in my eyes. People do have belief in religions, though. Yeah. People do have belief in, belief in religions. Well, and even in regards to how I define belief, yeah, they do have belief in religions, and it's not a good thing. It's what keeps religion going. With experiences, what do you mean? So, do you think that someone suffering from chronic depression can heal themselves without medicine? Yes. I'm not saying it would be easy, but as someone who has, I mean, chronic depression, that's been said by one of my doctors. Chronic depression, um, and I'm feeling the effects of it. I feel the effects of it. I'll just say that. And so, yeah, I think you can heal without medicine, um, because I've learned to do that. Been doing it. We are made up of all, and we're just the all experience itself into possibilities. Not advocating Hitler, just saying people shouldn't see the worst in things as bad as opportunity to grow and learn. Man, yeah, I'm gonna head out in like 2 minutes, so it's all good, Caleb, Sloshy Caleb. Well, I gotta go soon, but I'll keep listening to the last few minutes. Dope. Depression is not a thing you have; it's a symptom of being in the wrong situation. Uh, yeah, yeah. I don't know if I agree with that totally, but you do have. There is a point there. Depression is not a thing that you have; it's a symptom of being in the wrong situation. Yeah, yeah. I mean, yes and no. It is a thing that you have, but it's also a thing that you choose to have. You know, depression is also you not wanting to. There's a grieving process in depression, and if you adamantly like accept all of that, then you can get through it fairly easily. And it shouldn't be ignored. So it is a symptom in the wrong situation, but you don't have to be a victim to it. That statement kind of implies this victim mentality, and I'm not into that. So I do think it is a symptom, but you don't have to be a victim to that symptom. You don't have to let it rule over you. Peace out, John. Christianity, Buddhism, shamanism, Wicca, pagan, any religion you can think of has had crazy shit happening to them. Yep, been claimed by having them. Yes, they do. Experiences. Yeah, could be a truth. There could be truth there. I don't know. Hit the like button, please. Yes, please do it. Um, did you just say we choose it? Oh, come on. Choose what? No, I'm not saying we choose depression. I am saying that by what he's saying, that it's a symptom of being in the wrong situation. Yes, it is a symptom of being in the wrong situation. It's a symptom of this happens to us, but we can choose what to do with it. We can choose to walk through it, or we can choose to let it overtake us and be a victim to it. That is a choice. Having the depression and sadness hit us isn't necessarily a choice. It depends on how empathetic you are, first of all, but it's not necessarily a choice. Even though you do have the power to make a choice, you do have the power to not let it affect you, but it will end up affecting you, and so you might as well just lean into it. But you have a choice to either be a victim to that or to not be a victim to that. Um, yeah. On free will, I don't think we actually have free will. Well, that's something we don't agree on. Um, Autonomy, yes. Free will, not much so. Much of our decisions are based on forces and circumstances. Too little time to go into examples. Yes, too little time, but that is something that I have extensively done a whole lot of research on, the science of free will and do we have free will? And I still firmly believe we have free will. Like this video, it helps the Misfit channel and family grow. It really does. Really, really does. Uh, All right, guys, that is it for this live session. Really appreciate you guys. Thank you all for your questions. Thank you all for your input, and be here next Friday because it's just I think this Friday night thing is getting better and better all the time. It's growing, and so keep coming back. Keep coming back for more. It's just a fun time, and it's so different every Friday. I think this was a great session, and really hope to see you guys next Friday, and we will continue this incredibly amazing conversation. So, um, yeah, remember to hit that like button. Really helps this channel out. Really helps me out, and keep spreading the love. Keep living life to the fullest, and see you guys next time. Peace out.